My name's Thomas Waddle. This is the Whisky Sour Hour, and we're joined here by that effing guy, Jordan McCabe. How you doing, man? You all right?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Aye, not too
I
bad.
know. I was
Not too
wondering
bad.
how you're going to introduce yourself. How's he going to introduce me? He's going to be like Jordan, the window cleaner. He's all know him.
No, I was thinking, like, I thought in my head, I was like, how would a wrestler announcer do it? So I was like,
Yeah.
lead. I always think leading with it
That
sounds better than after.
Effing Guy coming
Exactly.
in weighing 21 stone.
That's it.
I've lost 2 stones doing quite well.
Oh no, smashing it, man, smashing it. Name your food challenges for a wee while then, because that was a kind of thing.
That was 7, 8 years ago. It keeps coming up in my wee memories. And Kevin from Nosh is like, when we did another one, I'm just like, I don't think my body can take it.
I think you need to
Quite
prep yourself, like for those, it's a marathon. Those kind of things.
I don't know how that. Is it Adam Richmond, Man versus Food? Well, he stopped doing it because he was getting fat. He was like, I can't do it anymore.
No, I don't think that's something you could do continuously for a while. That so.
No.
But how you doing, man? You alright?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, just it's been a long day out cleaning windows and
it's been
the
weather for it. But what is it? About 20, 22, 23 degrees.
It's been great, but even when it's pissing the rain, it's still like 19, 20 degrees. I'm just like, oh god, man, it's a warm shower. But it's nice, so it's refreshing.
It's muggy.
Refreshing. Yeah,
I think I'd rather do that than be out, like, in like the kind of like a right cold day, because your hands, going in hot and cold water, man. That must be brutal.
100%. It's just. I love it, but I hate it. But I love it. But then you've got the old housewife being like, "Do you want a cup of coffee?" I'm just like, "Yes, please." "Do you want some cake I made last week?" I'm like, "Yes, please."
Just give me it all. That's it.
Yeah, basically that's why I put on the stones. I mean, but but how are you, man? You good?
Yeah, no, all good, man, all good. As I say, this has kind of been a long time coming. It's just trying it's like we get the planets aligned for us. So yeah, no, it's good to finally kind of get it down, because we're always kind of back and forth, So.
Yeah, I messaged you. I'm just like, oh, I know that guy. He's got a podcast, brilliant. Because I'm a camera whore. Like I'll be on anyone's pod. I'm just like, get me on your podcast, please.
It was just, as I say, it was just the kind of logistics. But at first, it was obviously going to be in person, and we were going to use the mics, and then eventually, I was like, wait a minute, let's, we recorded the previous episode with Chris Black, and I used it's Google Meet, and it's been that pretty worked out pretty well so far. So we'll continue to use that. So again, just obviously, like, thanks for joining us.
No, of course, thanks for having me.
So obviously, you'd said yourself 8 years you'd been doing YouTube. What was it that drew you into doing that? Because I mean, it's not something, like we all make a YouTube account just to be able to save our playlist with music and like stuff. But what is it that drew you to be like, right, I'm actually going to upload something?
It was literally just it was exactly the 12th of July 2018. It was a Sunday.
The glorious 12th. What?
Nah, yeah, I know of all the days. Funny enough, my daughter was actually due on the 12th of July, but we held it back. The wife had to go on the 30th of June because she's just like, I can't take this anymore. I was like, fair enough. So it was a Sunday afternoon. I'm just like, I was like, I'm going to. I'd thought about it for ages, and I spoke to my wife at that point was my girlfriend, and I spoke to my mum and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm going to start doing videos on YouTube, and they're just like, because I think we had Vine. I think Vine was about, and I was like, but Vine's like we kind of funny sketches. I was like, right, I'm not going to sit and talk for 4 hours and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'll do a YouTube channel. So I set it up, and literally in the video, I was like, I'm going to call myself That Effing Guy. Yep, That Effing Guy. I literally said that, and I was like, I'll go. But it was, I don't know, I just kind of, I like talking about movies, and I kind of thought, do other people like listening to me talking about movies? And yeah, they do, sort of, maybe, yeah. I mean, like, I'd done it, but I wasn't really committed. Like, I'm more committed now, and because I came back after 2 years of just being off, I was like, I kind of lost my stride, and my anxiety and stuff. Like, I think I was just kind of struggling it here and there, and then all of a sudden, with the birth of our first child, Darcy, so I kind of was concentrating on that. And I joined B theatre groups. I was concentrating on that as well. But I love doing it. I love talking about films. I love the fact that it's so easy. Like, it's so easy. I mean, it's even easier now because, like, during COVID, everyone became a TikTok star.
Yeah.
Everyone became a TikTok star. Like, I went through, well, myself anyway. I don't know. Obviously, you've just started, but like when I done it on YouTube was so easy, but then so hard. to just make these videos and edit them in iMovie, you know, all that kind of stuff. Whereas nowadays, everyone's just jumping on TikTok. They're using CapCut. It's fast. There we go, easy. You're a TikTok celebrity now. Whereas I'm like, motherfuckers, I'm like one of the OG YouTube guys who was just like sitting up there like 2 a.m. editing this like 10-minute video to get 3 views. I'm like, you know what, 3 views, I'm satisfied.
No, listen, that's what it's about, and I think as well, you know, having the phones these days that have like a, what is it, 30 megabyte or whatever it is, 100 megabyte cameras.
Insane.
They're better than any webcam that you could ever have. So you've got these in your pocket, and people seem to forget, you know, you can use them, and then like you're saying, you can most of the time if you've got a USB mic, you can just plug that in with an adapter, and then next thing you know, you're off.
It's literally what I've been doing. Like I've been finding it a lot easier to film on my phone. So when I first done it 7 years ago, 7 years ago, 2018, yeah, that's right. I was filming my computer, and it was the photo booth, photo booth thing on my MacBook, and it would do the countdown, and it would do. And for the first several months, or the first year or so, because I couldn't edit back then, like, because I was using iMovie, and I was like, iMovie's crap, I don't like using this. I'd used Final Cut Pro when I'd done film and TV at college, but I don't have the money to be like, I'm just going to buy Final Cut Pro, so I was using iMovie, but I never really thought, edit out the 3, 2, 1. So I'd be sitting there for the first like 3 seconds, you've been like, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm just like, I never actually realised, like, you look a fanny. And when I watched back my very first episode, that effing pilot, I'm just like, oh my God, who would watch that guy? I wouldn't even watch that guy. But when you look at my content now, I've came so far. I'm still so far from being the greatest thing on, you know, since sliced bread, but like, it's a fun hobby. But when I look at myself now, editing wise, I'm so much better. But compared to the millions of others who do it, I'm like, I'm still not there. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm happy. It's my happy place. Other than my wife and my child and my friends, it's my happy place. I like doing it, and it's a fun hobby. It really is. I enjoy it.
No, I totally agree. I think if you go into this expecting like I'm going to be making millions and have like,
well, I thought that
loads of subscribers.
I was stupidly think that at first, and that's what put. Oh, sorry.
No. Sorry, I think it's about being realistic in that, and because I know myself, I was like, the goal I'd set for myself was like, let's just be consistent, 1 a week. Let's do that for, you know, like if I can do it for 10 weeks, and now, you know, we're like 25 weeks into this, it's crazy. So no, I know,
and you've done so well, man. I love listening to your stuff. Like your recent one with Superman. Like I was just like, you know what, this boy knows what he's talking about. We really need to get something together here. Seriously,
man.
It's fun, man. It's nice. It's nice to listen to.
I know it means a lot. I know, I appreciate that. No, I was just I mean, even coming in at like 2018, it was a different landscape. Like we spoke prior 100%. To coming on in that to where it is now. But prior to coming on the video, I'd uploaded some like wrestling edits back in 2007, and it was just back then. It was like, I don't know. It was like a simpler time, if you know what I mean. Like you would go on, and the reviews were basically like angry reviews were all the thing. You know, it was like the Nostalgia Critic and AVGN. I think who was the other guy? There was the guy that was like a rip-off of the Angry Video Game Nerd. I can't remember his name. It was like the mildly annoyed guy. There was something like that. It was almost exactly the same.
See, I don't know any of these guys. One of my other friends, Matty Monster, he's called Matt Mitchell. So I say he's a long lost Mitchell brother. We have a little kind of segment on my channel called the Two Effing Geeks, and we started that a few years ago and kind of done a few things here and there. And then, like I said, when I stopped for 2 years because I just lost my way. The path of the Jedi, I lost my way. And I then came back, and I'm just like, we came back, so we've done our hot takes there. We filmed one the other night there, our top 5 of 1993. But what the fuck was I talking about there? I do this all the time. I lose my.
Tangents are great. No, so you were talking about, obviously we were saying about like going.
He mentioned the Angry Video Nerd, and I'm just like, and I'm just like, I'm like, what's that? I don't really. The only guys I know is the guys that I watch right now. I mean, I could not tell you who I watched back then. I mean, I've always watched like 3C Films, Chris for 3C Films, Mike and Jay. We watched a movie. Love those guys. And I only watch movie stuff. I don't really watch angry video. I know the name, but like
I think it was just the gaming, and it was Irate Gamer was the other guy. It was it was
I know
just
him.
a
I
rip
know
off
that
in
name.
that.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that guy. I don't know him, but I know that one.
Aye, no, there was like a big controversy, like he was like ripping off stuff in that. It was just, but no, like so YouTube back in the day, it was just like it was like a much more I don't know, like just it seemed like a friendlier place. No, that it's a ridiculously aggressive place in that. It was
100%.
very, I don't, maybe naive, maybe, or whimsical. It was nice.
I get that, and I think that was one of other than I think that's what really got to my anxiety. Like I know I'm going to go pure deep here, but that was one of the other things because like I was uploading videos that I thought I put my heart and soul into. I still think I put my heart and soul into it, but like I said before we started recording, I'm my own worst editor and director. So a lot of the stuff I put up, I think I put my heart and soul into that, and I'd get people being like, why is this guy still making videos, blah, blah, blah. And I stupidly used to upload links to my videos on Reddit. And I realized that unless you're posting a picture of tits or a funny meme, you basically get told to drop dead right there and then. So that just, I was disgruntled by all of that. And it just kind of got to me. And I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore because you know what? I can't be bothered. I'm taking time out of my day after working long ass hours, whether it be window cleaning or, you know, whatever it was at the time. And I would come home and film these videos and then get people being like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm just like, that's my opinion though. And what I've made it now is I've made it clear more since I've came back. So I came back at the start of the year and I've made it more clear now that, listen, guys, everyone's entitled to their opinion. If you want to have negative comments, that's fine. Just tell me why you don't like, you know, Doctor Who recently, because obviously we've had a lot of you know, shit from Doctor Who recently. If you hate the show, you know that like it's like hate the player, don't hate the hate the player, don't hate
the player, hate the game.
Yeah, basically. So, but I'm like, just don't hate me. Hate the story, but don't hate me. Don't say like, don't give me your negative comments. Don't make like, you know, oh, what you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. But I've had, be fair though, I've had a lot of great feedback. I've had a lot of great support from various different people who have just discovered me all of a sudden and been like, oh, how you doing, man? Cool. And it's lovely. I love when people are so nice to you on social media and especially YouTube or TikTok or whatever. But then you do get the people who are just like, Superman shite. And it's just like, that's the only comment. I'm just like, I always want to reply, especially to TikTok ones. I always reply and just say, listen, man, that's cool. That's your opinion. No worries. It is what it is. Have a nice day. And they hate that though. They hate when you're nice to them when they've left an arsehole comment. But I've realised just do that though, because it's the most, they hate that. That's the most manipulative thing. They'll hate you being nice to their horrible comment.
Some of the times it's like, you know, just because you have an opinion doesn't mean to say everybody needs to hear it. And I find myself like, because I used to comment a lot of stuff and it wasn't like I was nasty or anything. I just, you know, like you're saying about like movies and that, you know, you would comment on whatever movie it was, and you would have like basically a big tangent of folk coming on and just like you're like, guys. And then I was like, well, actually, you know what? I don't want to invest enough in this, you know, to have it. But a lot of people, I think it's just because they have that anonymity behind the keyboard. They'll have like some name up, but like, you know, Viper 365 or something like that.
Oh,
and then
it's always a stupid names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's insane. Like I welcome negative comments. I'm just like, you know what, guys? If you want it, it's your opinion. That's fine. If you don't like the new Superman, if you don't like Doctor Who, if you don't like my videos on what I'm saying, that's fine. No, it is what it is. Thanks for your comment. You know, leave a like. You know what I mean?
Subscribe and hate watch. That's
it's exactly. And I think I said that. No, I don't know. No, actually, I deleted it because I thought, no, I don't, because you'll just start a whole world of hate. I was going to release a video where I was talking about like the hatred on like videos and stuff like that, and I said that I said something about you leaving a negative comment is one thing. I can delete that comment, right? But you leaving especially on YouTube, a thumb down, because you can still have the thumb down option. I can't remove that. That's more hurtful. So I'm like, but I thought don't, because then people will just be like, thumb down. Exactly. And now that I've said that, and it's now going to be on your podcast, it's going to go out there and I'm going to be like, that effing guy, thumb down his videos. That's more
thumb him to death.
Thumb him. That's more of a bastard. They unlike my video. Damn it. But a nasty comment, I'm just like, delete.
Aye, the like to dislike ratio is probably a big thing. It's like your KD and COD. You're like, oh, I don't want my kill death to be that far.
I
So,
know, man, it's
um,
brutal. But
but
yeah,
no, listen, I know you're obviously you've came back kind of. I think when was it? About March time?
I
Was it
came
March?
back in
Was it
February.
February?
Yeah, February. So I came back, and yeah, I said though that I wasn't going to be consistent, but I'm just like, but there's just too much movie news out there because obviously, I forgot to say, what do I do on my channel? So I talk about film and TV. I forgot to say that actually. So I talk about film and TV, and I'm trying to get more into because I feel as if I sound like I sound like John McClane and John McClane, the STV news guy. Is it John McClane?
Not John Mackay.
John
John
Mackay.
McClane. John
I
McClane's
felt John
die
McClane. I felt as if like I was being like John Mackay, just reporting the movie news. I'm like, I'm not going to start doing that shit.
Yeah.
That sounds like, you know, I'm John Mackay. So I've tried to kind of do it more in what my opinion is on whatever movie news, and it sounds more personal, sounds more like what you're thinking. Whether people like that or not, I don't know. But what I want to do is I want to start doing more things of like my top 10 favorite horror films, my top 10 worst horror film. I want to start doing more, I guess you could say, is it editorial stories or editorial kind of content where it's not just about the movie news of the day, it's more about what your likes are. Like I've got ideas to do like a pop. I think I've got like 88 pop Funkos. I don't know, I counted them the other week there. So I was like, I want to do maybe like a pop Funko video. I want to do like my Blu-ray box sets. I've got like a lot of Arrow video, physical media,
nice one.
and do things like that rather than always just reporting the news. Because again, like I said, I feel like John Mackay. And for people who are outside of Scotland, John Mackay is our STV news anchorman. Yeah, he's essentially the Ron Burgundy without all the the whiskey and the shagging. Well, maybe as a shagger, I don't know.
I don't know. Listen, if you're John Mackay, I must be Shireen Nanjiani, which is a throwback. You know what I mean?
Shows your Shireen, Nanjiani. Shows your Shireen. Oh my god! But yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad I'm back.
No, that's
I really
it.
am. It's fun.
I think it's like, and I keep saying this. I spoke about it with Chris last week as well. It's very much just it's a creative outlet, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. I think people still think the arts has just been like you draw or you do music and that, but you know, this is, you know, you're doing videos and it's just a way of getting yourself. I'm rubbish at writing down my feelings and emotions and something, but actually being able to, you know, just sit down in front of a camera, you know, take a couple of minutes, get a can of juice and just go to town, and then having the interviews as well. It's you're sharpening skills that you're otherwise you wouldn't think about. And I do a lot of talking in my job anyway, because between inductions and toolbox talks and stuff, so you kind of need to sharpen those skills, and it's like training for both, I suppose, isn't it? You know,
I mean, I can talk for Scotland, so I have no problem talking, but what a lot of people don't realise is that everyone thinks that, oh, you know, you're big personality, you can happily talk and that kind of stuff. But I get so shit scared at times, and people don't realise that unless you're like my wife or my best friends or my family. They don't realise that they realise that no, I do have my moments of like when my anxiety kicks in. I do have moments where I'm just like, oh, like especially when I'm like I'm part of now B Theatre Group, which is shout out to B Theatre Group, by the way. We've got our play, A Bunch of Amateurs, on at the end of August. Get your tickets, please.
Where can you buy them?
Ticket Source, and it's on August 29th and 30th.
Nice.
It's a great play. It really is. It's so funny. It's about a big movie star who comes to basically B Theatre Group, and he thinks he's going to the London West End. It's fantastic. It really is. So when I joined them, I was like, yes, I'm on stage. I get to do this. I've done a lot of that in school. But then when it happened, I was cast as the Beast. I was cast as the lead in my very first panto there, my very first year. I was cast as the Beast. It is brilliant. But it was funny because you had kids on the street being like, oh, Mum, there's a Beast. I'm just like, mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. I was just like, yeah, on stage. It is funny, but it's funny being known as the Beast rather than the window cleaner for a few months.
I think I'd stick with window cleaners. That was
yeah, but it was brilliant. But that really brought me out and realised, no, I can do this. This is really good. There's a lot of times though before shows, I'm just like, oh shit, and a lot of them know when Jordan, they know, oh, Jordan's at his point where he's like, oh shit. But then I'm like, when I go on stage, I'm just like, I'm a different character. Look, that's the whole point of it, though. You're a different. It's like acting, though. I've seen a lot of movie stars saying that, though. Like when they're themselves, they are just they're Bruce Willis, they're this, they're that, they're Kevin Smith, or the Kevin Smith. But then when you're in front of everyone, you're playing a character, you're a different person. It's even for YouTube channel though, like I am what you see on YouTube with me is what I am in real life. There's a lot of times where I don't want to say I don't put on an act, but I put on an act. You know, I put on a kind of cover.
Aye, there's like a difference between you and it's like what you project and what actually is you.
Yeah.
There's a kind of buffer zone between what that is and what you actually are. It's a bit of self-preservation, I would imagine.
Yeah. It really is. I mean, I love being me, but I still do hide a lot of me at times. But it's just like I said, it's just self-preference. You kind of realize as you get older, you kind of realize the different if you go to different things, you kind of need to be that way towards them and that way towards them and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of, I was trying to get the thing. It's like I was very much like, I hope they like me. I hope I'm not. I hope, and I tried to change myself to fit in with certain crowds and all that kind of stuff. But then as I got older, I was just like, fuck them. I'm me. Why am I changing myself for this and changing myself for that? But then, even then, when I said that though, I'm still finding myself doing that. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? So I try and be as much as myself on video for YouTube or TikTok or whatever, or for this as well. But then I still hide myself away a little 20%, 30%. And it's tough. But you know what? I've had the best support ever from my friends, from my family. I've had great support from my followers, my subscribers, who like listening to what I say. And yeah, and like I said, you get your nasty comment or two, and I'm just like, thanks for your comment. Enjoy the rest of your day.
No, absolutely. I think for me, it's more a case of.
I babble on a lot, by the way. So you'll probably.
No, don't be silly. No. It's good. It's good.
I make no sense, but then I sometimes go round full circle. I'm just like, that's where I wanted to be. Yep.
You just need to catch yourself before you start repeating the same stuff again. That's what I find myself doing.
I'm so fucking horrible for that. For when back in college, when we done film and TV, the film and TV course, we had to do essays for our lecturer Frank the Tank, or it was called sometimes Frank the Wank. We had to do a lot of essays. And I realized I was just babbling on. I'm not good at writing essays. I'm really, really not. I was never good at doing it. I was great at English, but I was never good at writing essays because I just felt as if I babbled on. And that's pretty much how I live my life. I say one thing, and then 5 minutes later, I'll say it again. And then 10 minutes later, I'll be like, what was I saying again? Oh, yeah. and I'll go back. I'm shocking for that. That's why I'm my own worst editor and director. Because a lot of the times I'll film. I mean, I've literally filmed hour-long videos and then been like, nope, start again, and deleted it and started again. Because I'm just like, nope, I can't even edit that. Nope. So, but now though, I'm better at editing, I would say. I think so. My viewers might not think so, but I think I'm better at editing. So I now know where to edit. I now know where to cut. I now know where to have a breather and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Again, I'm babbling on to a point where I'm just like, what was I talking about again?
No, I was just going to say, obviously, you were saying about like the kind of negative comments. I find for me, it's what I've always kind of tried to be as kind of confident and outgoing as possible, even if it's out my comfort zone. But I think for me, I get really bad imposter syndrome where I shouldn't be here, like this, that I shouldn't be in this position and stuff. So so that's probably my worst thing. But I feel like the best thing you can do is, just ignore it and try and push through it, and then, which sounds kind of, if everybody could do that, and it's like, the amount it takes to be able to do that is a lot. So
I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying, because when you keep saying like, just push on, just truck on.
Like saying to somebody that's depressed, or man up, and that's no what we're saying.
I hate that. I hate when people say that. Like, that's why I was so scared to talk about my anxiety to even my family. Like, I was going to say I came out. That sounds a bit kind of wrong, but like I expressed my feelings about 5-6 years ago. Like the wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. My wife, Kirsty, she knew I was like, and she knew that I had like, I don't want to say dark days, but just days where I was just like, I'm just sick and tired of life. And I think it really hit during COVID. So it was about 5 years ago. it hit a lot during COVID, because while Boris Johnson was having the time of his life at his parties, his solicited party, whatever it was, his parties anyway, we were all sitting twiddling our fingers. And I just hit a downer, because at first I thought, this is great, a bit of time off, all that kind of stuff, blah, blah, blah. But then I hit a downer like everyone else did. And the thing is, though, I'm not taking that away from everyone else. I know everyone else had a shit time during COVID. And I get that. And that's why I was like, there's no point in expressing myself, because I feel as if people just say, we're in COVID, we're in lockdown, everyone's feeling like this. So that's why I never said it. But then I just realized, I need to just say how I'm feeling. And I said how I'm feeling. And call it anxiety, call it depression. I really don't know. I have anxiety, definitely. But everyone says, like, oh, you should go to the doctors. But I'm just like, no, I don't feel as if I'm that bad. I feel as if I'm taking away like that help from people who really are struggling, who really are dealing with depression, who really are dealing with, like possible, like, taking their own life and stuff like that. So I was never near that. I was never close to that. I'm afraid of death as it is, let alone fast forward the process.
I think a lot of times, when it comes to mental health and stuff, I think one of the best things you can do is actually understand that feeling anxious and feeling a wee bit down, that's natural. Like there is a natural feeling. It's when it's crippling you. And that's when there's the issues. But I mean, like, getting up in the mornings and being like, I can't be bothered. Like, that's absolutely fine. We get that. I mean, see, especially we're in the summer now. Imagine when it gets to winter. And I mean, for you, if you're getting up to the windies and it's like, it's -4.
I know. Like, I'm more of a winter person than I'm a summer person. I love the dark nights. I love it. It's great. You get in at 4 o'clock. It's brilliant, because I get a full day. I get a full day's wage, even though I've only done 4 hours of work. It's brilliant. Alan hates that, but anyway, my boss. But yeah, I'm more of a winter guy than a summer guy, which is so fucking weird for being a window cleaner that way. But I love the winter nights. I love it all. I just love being wrapped up, cozy, just enjoy. I love it. I love all that. I don't know why. Yeah. It's a weird thing.
It's a good time. I was actually talking about this today. This September, November, September, October, November, December.
It's just great. But then you do have those winter months where you're just like, it's just depressing as well, because you're just
January to about halfway through February to about Valentine's Day, so you've got 6 weeks
like it's rough. October, November, December, like when it get like September time, and like the kind of autumny kind of love it. I love that. I love
the warm oranges.
I love that. Yeah, I love all that. I love that smell, that winter smell. My wife and my mum are just like, what do you mean? And then they start to kind of, oh yeah, there is a kind of smell in the air of that kind of winter. You're just like, oh,
I think it's the leaf.
Santa's coming. Santa's coming.
Here we
brilliant.
Go. No, it's good, man.
But it can be depressing as fuck as well.
Well, Scotland. The best thing, in my opinion, about the kind of dark nights is you don't need to worry about the light shining and blocking your TV when you're watching stuff.
100%.
Which leads into really why we're here, because obviously our love of film and kind of all things media related, I would say.
100%. Because fuck all the mental health stuff. Let's talk about fun. Let's talk about fun stuff. Let's talk about films.
I don't want to bring anybody down, So let's go. No. Listen, that all that's important and stuff as well. But we could talk about that. But weeks we could do episodes on mental health and stuff. So I'm a big proponent of that.
I think definitely to wrap up that section, I think definitely don't be afraid to express how you're feeling. That's the problem that I think everyone had, but I think men especially have. They just think, like you said though, just man up, guys, just shut up, just give yourself a shake. But it's like, I know, but it's not that easy to just do that at times, from time to time. You know what I mean? So I think just if you're feeling down, tell people, just express it. I know it's difficult. It's easy to say that. Just express how you're feeling. You get a lot of people. It is difficult. It's difficult to not express your feelings. It's difficult to express your feelings. I don't know. That's what it is. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on, because
listen, it absolutely is, and it's mega important, especially you get to the back end of the year, you get the what is it, seasonal disorder, where the light goes down. So those things are important, and it is talk about it. Sam H, Samaritans, they're all out there. You can use them.
Exactly.
But the real meat of why we're here really is the connection, obviously, as to why we started talking was because like media, films, TV, that kind of stuff. Now we're in July, which I don't know when they were doing the release calendar for this. this month. Back, probably last year, like, what were you thinking? Releasing 3 huge blockbusters in the space of 4 weeks.
Oh
I think
God, man. A
they've
geek's wet dream. It was
tripled themselves.
amazing.
I think it's been good, but at the same time as well, I want them to be successful, and you're just they're trying to cripple one another here, because I think Superman's doing okay. I think America itself probably hasn't helped the international box office, because we're kind
Well, that's what they're saying. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Obviously, because of the Trump nation, everyone's just like, fuck America, and it's like, I know, but it's not America, it's Superman.
I think it's because the old saying was peace, justice in the American way,
truth,
justice in the American way. Whereas now it's the human way or something. You're just like, just say that anywhere, like it's a kind of, and I think it's intrinsically linked with being America. It's that kind of late 40s to 70s Americana kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you've had obviously Jurassic World, which you've done reviews for, like, these 2 films, and we've got Fantastic Four this weekend.
No.
Out of the kind of 3,
Fantastic Four.
Did you have like a one that you were like, that's the one that I think is going to be the best?
Yes. So I made a bet with my 2 good friends, Steve and Dan. I said, if Superman doesn't make $1 billion, I'll shave my head.
I mean, that was a bad bet to take.
Do you know what? I had such faith. Do you know what? Superman was my number 1. Funnily enough, I didn't think I'd have been as impressed with Jurassic World Rebirth as I thought I was. I was so impressed with that, because it felt Jurassic Parky again. Even though it's the 7th film, it felt so Jurassic Parky. So I was so impressed with that. I loved it. I thought it was really good. It's a solid 4 stars. Superman. I mean, I love Big Blue. I love Superman. I don't care who plays him. I don't care. I mean, I know there's a Henry Cavill thing and that kind of stuff. I don't care. Like, any Superman is better than no Superman. So the new film is brilliant. David Cornsweet was just breathtaking as Superman. He really, or Kal-El, Clark Kent. He was just incredible. Like, I cannot wait to see more of that guy. I love all Superman. I love the Superman and Lois TV show with Tyler. He's either Hoechlin or Hecklin. He was incredible as TV Superman. He felt so cinematic. It wasn't even funny. Like, it was just brilliant. I love all Superman. I don't look and think, Man of Steel was better. You know what? They're both exceptional films. One was born out of the Dark Knight, that kind of darker toned reboot, and one is born out of just make Superman fun.
Yeah.
So you've got you either go for the darkness or you go for the happy. And even then, like we said before we started filming, the new Superman has got some really dark moments. There's a change up with his lore, the message from his parents, which are just like, shit, that's okay. There's the Lex Luthor moment with the gun. You're just like, which you see a clip of it in the trailer of him loading the gun. A hell of a lot darker when you actually watch the film. You actually watch the scene pan out. You're just like, wow, this Lex Luthor means business. And hats off to Nicholas Hoult. Like, he made Lex Luthor his own. Like, and you know what? I'm actually a massive supporter of Jesse Eisenberg, or Mark Zuckerberg. I've got no problem with Jesse Eisenberg's depiction as Lex Luthor. I really don't. I genuinely don't. I think he was actually pretty demonic. He was just that kind of. He was a kind of Riddler-esque Lex Luthor with his whole kind of quirky kind of thing. So I've got no problem with anyone. I've got no problem with Jesse Eisenberg playing Lex Luthor, but I think Nicholas Hoult is definitely. Yeah, he's definitely grounded Lex Luthor, made him he's a mad scientist, but he's also a brutal businessman and an evil son of a bitch. He really is. And I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. Incredible.
I know, I really enjoyed. I don't think there was a bad performance in the Superman
not
film.
at all. Even Jimmy Olsen, even the guy who played Jimmy Olsen, I'm just like, do you know what? Player.
Skylar Gisondo.
Yes, he's little Skylar, who he was Gwen Stacy's little brother back in the Amazing Spider-Man films, and I'm just like, oh my God! And then also recently, did you ever watch The Righteous Gemstones?
Yeah, just watched that.
Oh, what a fantastic Gideon! Like, what a fantastic series. Danny McBride. Oh my God, the man's a genius. And then David Gordon Green. And I know their names don't get not so much flattering comments after the Halloween trilogy, but you know what? Again, the Halloween trilogy, I fucking loved it. I really did. I loved the ballsy approach they made for Halloween Ends. Was it the ultimate Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers? No, but I had not a problem with the Corey Cunningham story. I was like, do you know what? I like this idea. If they introduced him a little bit earlier in like Halloween, maybe at the end of Halloween or Halloween Kills, then it would have maybe had a bit more of a positive outcome.
Yeah.
But I was happy with that. I had not a problem with David Gordon Green and Danny McBride. Like Danny McBride, like an American funny man writing a horror film and actually doing quite well. Like it done. I mean, you see like Jordan Peele. Like who the fuck would have thought that Jordan Peele, Keen Peele, came from that to then doing Get Up? Oh, Get Out. Sorry, Get Up. Get Out. Us. No, Get Out. Nope. Us. Like he made some twisted fucking movies, and I'm like, Jordan Peele.
There's something about the kind of comedy, tragedy, horror that they all kind of bleed into one another.
Yeah, it works so well, especially nowadays.
No, definitely. I think as well with the horror movies, it becomes more about the kind of kills, and they become quite comedic. I mean, look at all the kind of Jason ones. Is it the sleeping bag and he's just battering off a tree and stuff? You know, like
tremendous. I love the Friday the 13th films. I really do. I think they're absolutely fun. They're just so fun. And that's the problem.
Actually, it's probably like it has to be like a special horror movie. Like I think slashers, and they're just not my favourite.
That's fair enough.
I know what you did last summer. I think it's getting it's not a reboot, but it's a legacy sequel.
Yeah, that's the requel. The requel.
Yeah. So I mean, like I'm sure it'll be fine. Actually, we mentioned earlier, you mentioned James Wan. And his movie, was it Malignant? Did you watch that?
I've still not seen that. It's on my list.
That is incredible.
I've heard it's phenomenal.
Like I say, it has to have that certain. It has to bring something more to the table for me. I saw Sinners earlier in the year. I wasn't too hot on it, but
I've not watched that. But I've heard a lot. Do you know what? I've heard of a lot of amazing things about it. But then I've heard people being like, it's not that great. Like it's all right. It's just kind of.
I went in expecting From Dusk Till Dawn, and it's really not that at all. Which is
that was a great film. I watched that again recently, and I'm like, this is actually a tremendous film. Like you start off with this heist thing, and they two brothers, George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. What were they called again? I can't remember the brothers were called again. But they were great.
I'm trying to think.
Like Quentin Tarantino was just Quentin Tarantino. George Clooney, fresh off of like fucking ER, you know what I mean?
I know.
Playing this, he was called Cy, wasn't he? I can't remember the brothers called him, but he was great. Like that film is so good, and it becomes like a full on like comedy horror, like just this whole like the titty twizzler with all the vampires are just like
Gecko. Gecko is
the Gecko brothers. That's right, the Gecko brothers. Like so I think Sinners was expected to be a sort of more serious take on From Dusk Till Dawn, but then it's been considered this elevated art house vampire movie. Like I said, I've not seen it, so I cannot comment on it. But there's either lovers of it or haters of it. I still need to watch it. I will watch it.
I'm just a wee bit indifferent about it. I went in with the wrong expectations. I think the best thing to do is to let it lie and then go back and watch it again with kind of no expectations.
Well, that's probably the good thing is when I watch it, I'll try and have the lowest of low expectations and just see what happens.
Aye, no, that's probably the best thing to do.
But the Fantastic Four though, I've got like the highest of highest expectations, which I did with Superman, and I really hope it's. I mean, I've heard a lot of great things about Fantastic Four. But then again, it's all those kind of like, I don't want to say generic reviews where everyone's like, Marvel's back. Oh, the MCU is back on form. I'm just like, we've been told that every fucking year since Avengers Endgame.
Well, it's one of the ones. It's crazy. It's like, you know, if I go to you, Jordan, I've got 2 tickets for you to go to the premiere. I'm going to wine and dine you, and then give a review at the end. You're going to be like, mate, best plate thing I've ever done.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And that's the. It's a bit of chatter. It's to get the weekend going, and I think watching, like obviously we're talking about like Superman. It's had like ridiculously high holds. It's just like we says, obviously the international numbers aren't doing well, and I think that in Fantastic Four can thrive because, to be honest, there's not there's no great. I know Jurassic World. That's kind of winding down. You know, it's probably
That's
going to
done
fall.
really well. Actually, that's done really well considering.
It's
It's
like
done
I
really
think it's
well.
going to end in the kind of 700 millions. Which when you're
You're
basically
getting a sequel. You're getting a Jurassic Park 8, 100%.
Oh, no, definitely. I think again, I've not saw it, and I don't know if any legacy characters turn up, and I'm talking about like even if Chris Pratt, which I don't think he does or anything like that. But
I don't want to spoil it for you.
Yeah, no, I will watch it. But
it's more of a standalone Jurassic World film.
That's it. And plus, it's almost like you've got these new characters, and
I love what you said about the legacy character. I love the fact that Chris Pratt is now considered as a Jurassic legacy character because he is now. It's so weird though.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's in 2 years it will be the same time between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World in the past between. Because it's been 10 years for Jurassic World, which itself, and again, the fever's not there because we're only 3 years removed from Dominion. Now I haven't seen that. I hear bad things, but
Dominion. I don't want to. Let's not get started on that.
Let's not talk about it. But no. So like, I think they can thrive, and we're talking about the superhero fatigue. I think the big thing is people are just sick of poorly written things, and I think when something's written well, folk go and see it.
Yeah.
Case in point, the Batman for a few years ago. How many Batman have we had? And Robert Pattinson had all this stuff against
Batman
it, and it's
so
came out
good.
and smashed it. Yeah, no, that's it. So,
and we're getting the Batman 2. Thank God the script is finally finished. And James Gunn, obviously, he's now one half of the heads of DC.
And Peter Safran,
and he's just like, yep, I'm happy. Warner Bros. Are happy. But you know what? I think that's what's funny because there's been comments made about him, obviously, with Superman, because obviously he wrote and directed Superman, but he also produced it. But he also runs DC, the DC film department in Warner Brothers with Peter Safran. So even he's been like, Superman doesn't need to be a massive success. Like I'm still going to get to make. Well, we made Supergirl. Supergirl's already. He never made it, but Supergirl's already been made. So like, it's the start of a whole new run or a whole new universe. So like, it's James Gunn. He's one half of the head. He's not going to be like, oh, Superman only made 600 million. Damn. Oh well, better scrap it and start again. The train's going to keep going.
No, I think the kind of big thing is, and you kind of need to go back to like the Marvel films when they first came out. We are DC right now is damaged goods because you've got all the Zack Snyder stuff, and the amount of heroes or characters that are in that haven't been used. That to me, like my favourite, and I would turn the camera around, but there's just too much stuff there now because we're in the middle of getting ready to move.
That's right, so you are.
Yeah, so the Green Lantern is like my favourite, and now there's a Lantern TV show coming out next year, which
Guy Gardner and Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan.
Yeah,
so
looking forward to it, man.
So, the one thing I know, obviously Kyle Chandler.
I thought you were going to say Kyle Rayner, the other Green Lantern, but Kyle Chandler,
Kyle Chandler, he's playing the aged Hal Jordan, and kind of like, he's essentially the Obi-Wan to Jon Stewart's Anakin Skywalker.
Well, they're saying it's going to be like it's going to very much be like
True Detective.
Yes. So he's going to be like the kind of veteran cop, and then you've got the new guy, which I'm all for. I'm all for that. But the thing is, though, I'm happy with Kyle Chandler because anything that man is in, he's just good. Gold. Sorry, he's an actor who never really got his time to shine as much. Aye.
But
he's always good in everything he's in. But
he's brilliant in everything. Like Wolf of Wall Street was fucking great in that. Super 8. He was a dad in Super 8. One of the J.J. Abrams many films.
The first thing I ever saw him in was the Peter Jackson's King Kong, and he was like the kind of lead for the kind of movie, and he was like with the tash because the guy like drew the tash. Like,
he was great in that. But I will admit, as much as I love Kyle Chandler, Josh Brolin was originally going to be cast as Hal Jordan, and due to scheduling conflicts, he couldn't be cast. I was like, oh man, that's sucky because Josh Brolin would have been so good. But you know what? I'm happy for Kyle Chandler. I know. I'm happy for Kyle. Fuck, I done it again. I'm happy for Kyle Chandler. I really am. I'm glad he's getting something that's really mainstream. Hopefully, Lanterns is good. It's supposed to be more darker, like Nathan Fillion, who plays Guy Gardner. He was great in Superman. I thought he'd have been an arsehole, but he was a likable arsehole.
Yeah.
But the fact that he said that it's the only project he's been able to drop the most F-bombs, I'm like, oh, they're making an adult version of the Green Lanterns. That's cool. Because everybody, when you think of Green Lantern, you think Ryan Reynolds, which, do you know what? Ryan Reynolds was great in that movie. I'll stand by that. He was great in that film. I know he slags himself and does the whole thing, but
he was charismatic. Ryan Reynolds.
He was so
he was the same, he's the same guy he's in every film.
Yeah,
and
he was fine.
I liked Green Lantern at the time, but then I really got into the books. And when you're seeing, like,
it's so different. It's so different. But it's fine. It was fine for what it was. The visuals were cool. What he could do with his ring. The outstanding was Mark Strong as Sinestro.
That was peak.
God damn, that was the perfect casting.
So did you ever watch what's it called? I always forget. I was going to say Dawn Star, but it's not called that. Banshee. Did you ever watch that with Anthony Starr before he became like Outlander?
No, I never watched that. I've heard a lot of great things, but I've heard it's really dark and brutal, and is it kind of fantasy or something? Is it kind of fantasy?
No. It's like it's dark, brutal, and sexy. That's all I'll say. If you watch it, don't watch it. You know, your parents, if you know what I mean.
That's like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was just like, I remember when Game of Thrones first started. And I watched the first 10 minutes. I'm just like, I could literally just watch medieval porn. And it'd be the exact same thing. Don't get me wrong, no, Game of Thrones is great, apart from the last series, but it's what it is.
But Banshee, so there's Kai Proctor, I can't remember the actor's name, but he was like the kind of villain of the series, but like, you know, like the kind of villain that's like, he's kind of like, he does good things, but he's a bad guy. He's been cast as Sinestro, so I'm in the TV show, which I'm really looking forward to.
That's right.
I think he's a German actor. Yeah.
That's right. He's in the show as well. Oh, that's right. So he is. I know his face from. I've seen his face in I've seen him from a few things. Yeah. But I don't know him. I can't say he's a great actor.
I've not seen him in many things. It's just Banshee I've saw him in, but yeah, no, he kind of stole the kind of show and some of that. He was really like, you know, like you couldn't look away, really dark, kind of similar to the way Homelander is in The Boys. So
Homelander's just like if Superman was an arsehole, that's Homelander.
Yeah,
but like an arsehole you love to watch.
Yeah,
like it'll be a devastating day when that obviously finishes. Isn't it this? No, it's next year. It finishes next year. I'll be devastated because it's been such a great show. Like Carl Urban has been brilliant. Like I never read the comics. I never knew it was a comic book. I'll read them at some point, but I kind of feel as if I want to watch the series first and let that finish. Then go back.
Fair, they do a lot of things different, so it's.
Oh, that's not so bad then.
It's. I've actually got them. I'm kind of looking at them now and that, and it's like they're. How would you put it? They're like shock for shock's sake, if you know what I mean. Like some of the times you're just like, oh, that's
like the TV shows shock for shocks. I mean, like the what do you call it, the annual orgasm festival. Yeah. That sequence, I was like, did we really need that? Or was it honest, just, like you said, shock for shock's sake? I'm like,
I'll be honest, I jumped off it just because I was like, I don't know, man. Like I think, especially the last season of that, it became every superhero has a weird kink, is what it is. You know, the actual superpower was the guys, you know, had weird kinks. And to be honest, it's like I always say, like, folk will be like, oh, The Boys and that. If I wanted like an adult kind of show based on that, I would either watch The Penguin or Peacemaker. Like I think they're just, you know Penguin. What I mean? Like that's just done right. It's got the right amount of creep to. You know, it takes you places you're like, where's this going? And then it takes you right up to the point where you're like, I don't want to watch this anymore, to bring you back. You're like, wow. And Game of Thrones done that as well.
The Penguin was phenomenal.
Yes.
Phenomenal. Like the opening sequence where Oz Cobb is sitting with Falcone's son. And he's sitting there, and Falcone's son, I can't remember his name again, but Falcone's son, anyway, Alberto. He's sitting there, and then he's like, you know what, Oz, you were great, blah blah, and he just ends up going and just slating him and just saying, you're just this fat piece of shit, you were the driver, blah blah, and then Oz obviously just blows his brains out, and then sits back, and he's like, yeah. Fuck. And it cuts to the Penguin, you think, because obviously he's realising, because I mean, when he shot him, I was like, oh shit. But I love that kind of like, I'll show you. fuck.
I know, always good. One of the kind of things I do like, I love the music of the Batman with Michael Giacchino, and he done that. Obviously, does Fantastic Four.
I know,
But,
Fantastic Four.
one of the things I do like about it is the kind of the tonal consistency, and the fact that it's actually his son that does the score for the Penguin. It's Mick Giacchino that does it, which I think's quite cool.
Didn't even know that. Didn't even know the son.
There you go.
That's fair. That's cool.
It's pretty cool. It's nepotism working well, if you ask me.
And it worked. It does work so well, because it does sound as if it's just literally taken out the Batman movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It
That's
does
really
that.
good. Yeah.
And then when the Batman comes around, the Batman Part 2, you have to assume that Oz is going to be in it at some point. You're going to have his.
Well, Colin Farrell. Yeah, Colin Farrell said he's got a much bigger role in the Batman Part 2. Not that I'm an insider, and he told me personally, but I've seen from interviews he said he's got a bigger role. But he couldn't say too much, because obviously it was halfway through the Penguin, so he's like, I can't say too much, but we know he's alive. We know, obviously, because the last shot was the bat light going on, so we know that. Yeah, the Batman don't like what you've been doing.
The bat light there, the bat signal. Come on,
the signal. Sorry, the signal, the symbol, the signal. When you seen that go on, I'm just like, oh, he's there, and he knows, because I love that. Because my only pet peeve during the Penguin, or anything like any spin-off to a big superhero movie or whatever, is all the shit that's going on street level wise with the Penguin, with the Mafia, with this, with that. Where's the Batman? And I know a lot of people were like, he's trying to pick up the pieces from the Batman, or he's on holiday because he's realised, I've broke my back with the Riddler. I need a holiday, which I'm just like, do you know what? See if they wrote in Batman Part 2 where like people were like, where's the Batman been? And Bruce Wayne's just like, well, can't I get a holiday, no? Like, I'd be like, do you know what? Best piece of writing ever. Because that's the only thing I have a pet peeve of these spin-offs is, like, you watch them and you're just like, where's Spider-Man during all this? Where's the Batman during all this? It's like the Jimmy Olsen, because there's going to be a Jimmy Olsen spin-off series in the works, supposedly. I don't know, but I've seen a lot of chat on Twitter. And it's like, he's going to be dealing with all these, like, DC villains. And I'm like, surely to God, Superman's going to pop up, because if he's dealing with these, if little Jimmy Olsen, who's getting zero powers at all, is dealing with all these big villains, you'd be sitting there thinking, where the fuck is Superman? Where are you? But I think, what it is what it is. It's their own wee, thing, and it gives these side characters time to progress and express themselves and all that kind of stuff. Which why the Penguin was fantastic, because you actually went from hating this guy to really liking this guy, until you got to the end with poor Victor. Then you think, nah, he's a prick.
Well, what I was going to say was, I think hopefully, and Matt Reeves strikes me as the kind of guy that would bake that in. You'll probably have a reason, like I imagine with the flooding, and obviously the Batman's been out for 3 years now, but the flood at the end of the film, I imagine that will be the reason why.
There's a logical reason, but it's just all that kind of thing. You're sitting watching all these gunshots and all these explosions, and the bad guys doing this, and you think, what the fuck is the Batman? But then, I get it. He's just dealt with 2 weeks of absolute hell with the Riddler.
Yeah.
His butler, Bruce Wayne's butler, Alfred, getting taken to the hospital. All that kind of stuff. So he's dealt with. So it's time for him to give him a little bit of a kind of take your mask off, have a break, have a Kit Kat, and then get back into action.
That's what
a little bat siesta. So I get it though. Logic wise, I get it. But at the same time, you're just like, so where were you, Batman, when Gotham was blowing up? You know what I mean? But it's like, I get it. But I love that though. I love when it started on in Gotham. Parts of Gotham is still flooded. Like, I'm like, I like that little I know it's a tiny little continuity, but I like that little that little detail of you forget that. Oh yeah, that's right. Gotham get fucking destroyed just like literally a week ago.
Well, that's it. And I mean, there's that amazing scene where you get the flashback to Victor being in the roof.
Oh my god!
The bombs go off, because basically what happens is, and again, if you've not seen the Batman, I suggest you watch it. But the levees get blown up, and the seawall gets broken, and there's a massive flood. And it's in the film, it's like, it's epic, and you're like, it's the stage to like a massive. You don't see like the whole. You see Gotham, obviously, like you said, like, but you don't realize like families, their homes, and obviously Victor,
like Victor.
It's Victor's family, and you see
Victor's family. That's right.
Get ripped down.
I know.
it's you kind of your boots in the ground at that point. Whereas when you get the Batman, you're obviously really high up and you're kind of seeing it. But I mean, there's like the kind of anticipation of when they're outside, and I think it's Selena Kyle and the water runs by your foot, and you're like, oh, that is it's like almost like a storm surge. It's really well done, and as I say, I think the TV show mimicked the look of a film, but done it over a 10-hour kind of slot. And I think that's just we talk about it with Chris in last week's episode, but the feel of TV is one thing, but I think when you're on HBO, there's an expectation of just being that much better. I think Apple to a point do it as well. They're really it's like prestige TV making, and I think when you see the HBO, especially now, hopefully with I think it's 2026, so early 2026. I don't have one of your magic sticks or anything. I'm kind of old school. I'll pay for a month on Paramount Plus and watch it. But HBO Max will be coming to the UK, so you'll be able to watch.
I know, thank God, finally.
Yeah, you'll be able to watch all your HBO shows
like Sky,
a Sky subscription.
Sky Atlantic or Sky Max is like the HBO equivalent to like is that?
As it now,
Sky, is it Sky? I think it's Sky Max, isn't it? Yeah.
It's you can buy Now TV and get the
and you get
package and you get
all that.
It basically has it all, but again, I've been going on YouTube, and there's a Warner Brothers Classics up there, and you get all the what do you call them, the like Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry in there. So it's not myself going in that, and if you could go in and just pick individual episodes, you know what I mean, that'd be great. So yeah, hopefully when that comes, we're getting that. And like I say, there's just an expectation when you watch HBO and you just hear, you're like, here we go, something good.
HBO have they've always been like you said about the prestige. They've always been the more cinematic quality to their stuff. Like starting back from like The Sopranos, like all that kind of stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that was a birth of prestige. Yeah,
that felt like that. Yeah, that was the kind of beginning of the. Yeah, we can make essentially The Godfather or Goodfellas as a TV show.
Absolutely.
And he made The Sopranos also, which I love The Sopranos. James Gandolfini,
watch it.
So great actor. He could have been the Penguin. He'd have been a great Penguin. But his son's doing really well though, like Michael Gandolfini.
I think he was in Daredevil or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in Daredevil, and he was also in a film, Warfare. I watched it recently.
Was he in that recently?
He did that with Joseph Quinn, Human Torch, and Will Poulter. Yeah, it was great in that. I mean, it was a small role, but the film was great. All the boys were brilliant.
I think it's very Cosmo Jarvis in that. It's Cosmo Jarvis not in that. The guy for Shogun. He looks like Tom Hardy. No,
possibly.
I just like his name. I hope he's in it. He's really good in Shogun. That's something. If again, we're talking about prestige TV, and then I mentioned that it's not on HBO. I think that's Hulu, but you get it in Disney Plus here. Very good, very good.
I've not actually watched my Steve watched it, and he said it was brilliant. Because it was an old TV show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's based off a book, and then they're doing a second series, and the book doesn't have a sequel. The TV show or the TV film, it was like a mini series.
That
I think like our mom and dad would have watched and be like, "Oh, that was quality back then. That and it was the best."
Was it the 70s or something? That was a TV show.
I think it was early 80s. I think. Yeah. So they're doing a second series. I don't know how it's going to work, but we shall see. Is there anything kind of coming up that you're looking forward to? Obviously, we mentioned Lanterns. Is there anything TV wise that you're like, oh, that will be good?
I'm like lost in translation when it comes to TV shows nowadays. Like I just pick up things that are just there on Amazon or Netflix or whatever. I'm just like, I'll watch that. I'm trying to think.
I don't know if you watched Breaking Bad. The Vince Gilligan has a new TV show coming out called I think Happiness is Contagious. So that could be quite good.
He's got I loved Breaking Bad. I didn't really care for Better Call Saul. I know everyone said, "Oh, shut the fuck up."
I like Better Call Saul. I prefer
Breaking Bad. I'm trying to think what is getting made now. What TV shows are happening? I think the only ones I've really kind of stuck to is like what's happening with like obviously the Lanterns series, any of the Marvel shows because we've got Wonder Man. We've got
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
I know how do you pronounce his name? Because there's so many different versions. Like I say Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
I think it's Yahya
Abdul-Mateen. He's playing Wonder Man, which looks great.
He turned up at the Fantastic Four premiere in character.
Yeah, I know, that was cool. You've got that. You've got the Punisher special presentation, the special episode, that kind of one-off kind of special presentation. with John Bernthal.
John Bernthal.
Bernthal. He's great. I love him. He was good as a Punisher. Honest to God.
Yeah.
Like, he's not Thomas Jane. I love Thomas Jane as a Punisher. Who's brilliant.
Ray Stevenson, mate.
Ray Stevenson was R.I.P. Ray Stevenson was great.
Yeah.
Obviously he was he was in Ahsoka and now he's dead and have had to recast. But you know what? They've recast.
We've got Rory McCann.
I know.
The
you know
Sporty
what?
Jotes guy.
Yeah.
Scottish Sporty Jotes.
Yeah, like I know.
But,
I remember him as the guy from Hot Fuzz.
You were going to say Hot Fuzz, Michael
Yarp. That's all I knew him from. And then obviously he was he the Mount or the Hound? I can't remember. There's two of them.
Oh, he was
the Mount.
No, he was the Hound. The Mountain was your man Hathor Bjornsson.
That's right. So he was great as a Hound because again he was a character who you hated him, but then you're like, I kind of like him actually. He's kind of a likable character actually.
No, absolutely, and it's like you kind of. I think the thing with these things are obviously it's the characters pay a penance, and I think his getting a doing off Brianna Tarth.
Yeah.
And then becoming, like a gravedigger. And that episode where Ian McShane turns up and he's helping build a village, and then it just
Ian McShane from that was. You ever watch Deadwood?
I know what it is.
Deadwood was phenomenal. Ian McShane was just Al Swearinger. Oh my God! You know what? That was a moment with HBO where they just went all out. They're just like, we've made The Sopranos, let's make a fucking western with so much swearing, so much violence, so much sex. Calamity Jane is not the Calamity Jane your mum liked. This was the real life Calamity Jane where she was just swearing constantly. I think she was a prostitute at one point as well, and you're just like, she's not singing her songs that you usually hear her singing.
No, I just Lauren and I are actually
Western.
We're working through like an HBO backlog. So we recently, like it was last year, we watched The Sopranos. We're doing right now. We're doing 6 Feet Under.
6 Feet Under was such a great show.
No spoilers. I'm only in season 2.
Great show with Michael C. Hall. Do you know what show I'm watching right now? I love Dexter. Resurrection. So Michael C. Hall's back. Dexter is not. Well, spoilers. If you haven't watched it, spoilers. Have you watched it? I feel like
it's one of the ones. It's like I tend
you hear about all these things, but you watch it anyway.
It's something. It's not like 20 episodes a season for like 6 seasons or something like that. Is it something like
the original series? No, the original run was about. I think the most was like 14, 15 episodes.
Right.
That's the other thing. I'm not nowadays. Like back then, I would have watched 40 episodes. See now, I'm like 10. 12 is my max.
Oh, absolutely. I love a good mini series.
Don't worry, I would watch them if there was 20 episodes, but I just feel as if, like, see now, especially when you, like you said, you're doing a backlog of all the shows. The Sopranos, I think the most they had was like 14, I think the last season had maybe episodes.
14 or 15. Yeah.
But like, as I'm saying, like, I think shorter seasons nowadays are such a delight. See these long ass seasons. Like I said, back in the day, I'd have watched them. I say back in the days, I'm 44-year-old. I'm only 34, but like back in the day, I'd have watched these 40 episode seasons. Like, do you know what I'd never realized until recently? The original Power Rangers, the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, like the first series had 60 episodes.
Aye, exactly. 10
as
over
a kid,
should have.
As a kid, you'd have never realized that because you just thought Power Rangers, that is what it is. But yeah, I think shorter TV shows nowadays are so much better, so much easier to get through. You know, it really is. And I love my TV shows. I really do. I just don't have any in my head right now. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm watching this. I watched that.
Well, no, I think you're totally right with what you're saying.
There's so many you just forget about.
Yeah, no, you're talking about like obviously long seasons. Sometimes I used to find that it was filler, like for the sake of filler. You know, like a bottle episode. I think obviously Breaking Bad does that.
For example, The Walking Dead. Christ on a stick, the amount of filler episodes that show had. Like something major would happen, and you think, oh my god, I can't wait for the next episode. And the next episode is like a prequel episode with like a side guy who are just like, where the fuck did he come from? And you spend 4 episodes with him. You're just like. Can we get back to the fact that Carl gets shot in the eye? Can we go back to that, please?
No, I know. It's
The Walking Dead definitely overplayed its welcome. Overstayed its welcome.
It's still going now, which is
it's
crazy.
still going with these 44 spin-offs. But you know what? each to their own. It's got a fan base. I mean, like Doctor Who's been on for 60 plus years, and it's probably ran past its course, but I still watch it. James Bond has run his course, but I still watch it. So
well, you've got the spin-off Doctor Who, haven't you? The War Between the Land and Sea.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming soon, and then I think
they would have had it out sooner if Doctor Who was a success. I think they're holding off.
Yeah,
they're now just to let everyone settle. Yeah,
let the dust settle. The War Between the Land and the Sea looks like it could be Torchwood-esque darkness, more mature.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm happy with Doctor Who right now. I really am. I don't mind the wokeness. I don't mind all that. It makes me feel happy inside. It makes me feel giddy. It's Doctor Who. Shoot to Get What was tremendous. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do with Billy Piper, but do you know what? Will I watch it? Yeah, why not? I've watched it I've watched it solid for the last 20 years. So I'm not going to stop now.
To be fair, I don't know. I don't think they know what they're doing. So
no, they don't.
We're on the same boat.
We're on the same boat.
When it comes to what's kind of coming up for you, obviously you mentioned you're in the B Amateurs. Sorry, is it B
Theatre Group?
B Theatre Group. Sorry, it's the plays. Was it amateur? Was in the play name? You said,
a bunch of amateurs.
A bunch of amateurs,
and then we find out what we're doing with the Panto this year on Sunday.
Nice. Yeah.
On this Sunday. So when this goes out, it'll be like last week or whatever. So and then we're doing the auditions for the Panto in 2 weeks' time. And then Panto. It's so weird though, because I feel as if your time flies by, the years fly by, but when you're in something like a theatre group, whether it be amateur or whatnot, you realise your year does fly in a hell of a lot faster, especially when you've got a kid as well. That doesn't help situations. But when you're in a theatre group, when you get told, we're just pitching Panto ideas, I'm just like, Panto? It's like fucking February. But then you realise, but it does take that. It does take a lot. It's a long process, and then when you find out, like a few weeks ago, and we're just like, we're going to start talking about Panto in a few weeks' time. You're just like, Christ, it's Panto already. Jesus, that's mental.
It's mad when you go to Pantos and they've got get your tickets for next year's show. You're like, what?
I know. Thankfully, we're not that bad. The most we do is with our little programs for the Panto, we promote the next show, which is usually a musical show of some sorts in like March, April time. So, but yeah, the King's Theatre, though, when I go to the King's Theatre, like they've already, like you said, in their programs, they've already got like Panto Christmas 2026 booked. They've got Christmas 2027 booked. And I'm just like, what? But then again, it's like when you're in a big production like that, like we don't need to go that far. But we do though, like we do actually. We've already got next year planned out to an extent. Like we always know we do a Panto at the end of the year. But we try and do a play, we try and do a musical show of some sort, where it'd be like songs from like musicals or movies or this or that, the next thing, or we jazz it up and do like this year we done a sort of kind of jazz sort of show, and it was, I can't remember the name of it. It's a long title, I can't remember the name of it, but it was we dressed the church hall up like a jazz club. And we done like old songs. We done like modern songs, but in the form of jazz. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. I sadly wasn't part of the show this year, but the making of it, the behind the scenes of it was phenomenal. It was absolutely just top notch stuff. And again, I had a packed out audience, which is just fantastic. The support we have from our locals, even not locals, like people from like, they're still local, but like Kilburn, Dalry, Irvine. Yeah. Like you have people coming up from Paisley, Johnston. You have so we're very, very good. And people say to us, you're just as good as like the Kings. You're even better as the King. And we're just like that. We take that as a massive compliment because again, we're just a small amateur dramatics. But we look at ourselves. We try and be as professional and as good as we can be. And I think that's what makes it. Makes our audience come back year after year, no matter what we do. Yeah, they'll still come back. We appreciate that because we really thought that this jazz show was going to be like either a hit or a miss. It's a very niche audience, but no, man, it booked out. So happy.
Good. What we'll do, we'll make sure obviously we link everything, where you can buy tickets and stuff, because obviously we're all about supporting local.
Thank you.
I think there's nothing more local really right now for me than Be Amateur Dramatics. So it's,
Yes, thank you so much.
So that's what it's all about. But yeah, no, it's been one of those ones. It's like I'm just checking there. I was just looking. We're an hour and 10 minutes in, and it's absolutely flown by. And I say this to everybody, but we'll need to get you back on, just because obviously we're getting kind of later on in the night and stuff. It's a wee bit later on. So and I've got work tomorrow. We need to get everything sorted. So listen, we will come back, because we have a list that we went through that we've hardly touched, really considered. So to be fair, what we can do is when we reconvene, we could probably talk about Fantastic Four, which we'll have both seen at that point.
Hopefully,
so we will do that. Is there any last kind of plugs you want to do before you go? Is there anything? The website, or the YouTube, perhaps?
That Effing Guy YouTube channel. I'm sure Thomas will link that below. Like I said, I'm trying to not be John McCabe reporting the movie news. I love talking about my movie news, but I feel as if sometimes I do come across as if I'm reporting it rather than just giving my own opinion. So I'm going to try and switch up a little bit and be more my opinion, and not just being like, oh, so Taika Waititi is directing a new Judge Dredd film. I'd rather talk about it more like, I think that's a shite idea, but hey ho. No, I don't. Yeah. I think it's a great idea. But I also want to start doing more like I said, talking about my pop funkos, talk about my physical media, talk about the movies I love. I have a Letterboxd account where I do most of my movie reviews, my lists of ranking films and that kind of stuff. But I want to start doing that more on camera. Rather than just, absolutely. And I think that's the problem, because I feel as if when I review something, I'm not like your cinephile, like you go right into the cinematography and the feeling. It's a very much the same tone as Casablanca. I just say like Superman was great because David Cornsweet was great. Superman, James Gunn was great. The film was great. The flying effect. I felt like a man. I felt when you say like you'll believe a man can fly. I was like, I believe that man flew again.
Exactly.
Like that's literally that's my reviews are basically just, I loved this film. It was great. I hated this film because that's it. I don't do the whole technical side. I mean, yeah, you talk about the cinematography and music and stuff like in the direction, but I try not do that, because I feel as if you're being too much of those critics you read in the papers, and I'm like, I'm not like that though, because I feel as if sometimes when you are a critic, and I'm doing the fingers, the speech bubble, critic, you feel like you need to really deep dive into something. I'm just like, just enjoy the fucking movie.
No,
or don't enjoy it.
I think when you watch your movies as well, and when you talk about something, you can tell you're passionate, and it comes up, again and again. Just when someone does talk about something they're passionate about, we had it with Jordan McCabe a few weeks ago with the sim racing. It's something that. That's the whole ethos of what this show's about. It's about basically being like, you go to a bar, Whisky Sour Hour. You sit and chat. And you speak with someone that you never, you were like, you like cricket. I hate cricket. But I'm sure if somebody was passionate about it, I'd be like, oh, I understand where you're coming from. So that's what it's about. And you can tell, obviously, when you talk about what you like, Jordan, it comes across. And I think that authenticity, that's a big thing. I think that people need to, that people grab onto is genuineness and authenticity. And I think that comes across in spades with yourself, So.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate the feedback. I really, really do, and yourself as well. Like I love listening to your, and I know like I'm on your podcast. It feels like I need to, but I do. I love listening because it does sound like you're just listening to a guy in the pub, and that's what myself, Steve, and Dan, when we started our wee podcast, the Old Republic. It's no longer, it's defunct now. But we started that during COVID because we couldn't go to the pub and talk, and we were talking in our group chat and all that kind of stuff, and they were always against my loves for things. So like, I love Doctor Who, and they're just like, Doctor Who's shite. I'm just like, no, it's not. But we have a massive love for Star Wars, but we have also, like, I love The Force Awakens, where they're just like, mate, you're having a laugh. Now, don't get me wrong, the original trilogy is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But like, I love The Force Awakens. I didn't mind The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker. They hated it, and I get it. I'm not just sitting there being like, The Rise of Skywalker was brilliant. Anyone who says it was shite, just shut up. I get that people hated it. I understand that. I understand the hate for certain things that I love and people don't like. So our wee group chat is full of that. I'm the one that I love shite movies or movies that they think is shite, but I love it. You know, like it's just, and I love our wee opinions. So when we done our podcast at Old Republic during COVID, there was a lot of times where it was just like they two against me. But that was fun, though. I like that fun dynamic, though, because it was literally just what we speak like, and what we sound to each other when we're talking to each other in the pub on our group chat. We're just guys who are just sitting back, having some beers, and just talking about our loves and our hates and this, that, and the next thing. And the majority of times, I love a lot of things, and they hate a lot of the things that I love. But it was fun. It was a good wee dynamic, and I miss doing that. But but then again, that's what I wanted to do with my channel. I want to get more guests on, so like yourself, maybe sometime.
Yeah.
I want to get more guests. I feel as if I like the whole. It's better. I feel as if sometimes though, when I watch my stuff back, it's literally just me talking and babbling on. Whereas sometimes I feel, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's received well and sometimes it's not. But when I brought Matty on to do the Two Effing Geeks, our new wee thing, like I said, it does give me and it does give him something to bounce off of. Like he'll say something and I'll say something, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, no,
blah.
definitely, man. Yeah,
so I do feel as if sometimes it's more fun having someone else on with you and it not just being yourself.
Definitely.
But yeah.
No, it's what kind of keeps me going as well. It's like I love like just touching base, you know, like we've done like 6 episodes there where there was interviews and then being able to like just touch base and kind of like it was almost like a kind of battery reset just while we kind of geared up for the next one. Obviously, we've had this will, you know, be the second interview in a row, and we're aiming to have like 3 or 4 more before we kind of reconvene at the end of summer.
Yeah.
Oh, how did everything kind of pan out? You know, going back over the predictions we had. So no, it's it's good, and it's variety at the end of the day, and it's easy to speak with somebody. You can tell, like I say, authenticity and genuineness. It's you get it when you're talking to someone. So no, that's what it's all about. And
I like to be as genuine as I can. Like I said, going back to the way I obviously do sometimes change my perspective and things, and kind of like try and be different with certain people. But then it's nice just to be yourself and relax, and obviously be myself. I'm being myself with you, which I don't really 100% know you a lot from, from Adam.
Of course,
but I feel comfortable and just being able to just kind of sit and just chill and being like, yeah, why not? Just go with the flow. And I like that. I like when things flow. It's good.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. But no, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. And like I say, well, knowing what we know now, I mentioned Google Meet. It's been an absolute pleasure doing it. It's been good. So we'll get you back on.
And we'll need to go back to your list of things that we never even spoke about.
Exactly. No, I've got it. The funny thing is, it's all here.
That's okay then. That's okay.
You're speaking of Jordan McCabe. It's like I've been Thomas Waddle. But yeah, no, listen, we'll sign off at that. But yeah, we'll get back on soon. But yeah, man, it's been an absolute pleasure. So
thank you.
I've been Thomas Waddle. You've been that effing guy, Jordan McCabe.
Yes. The window cleaner.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Oh no, that's what it's about, man. This has been the Whisky Sour Hour. Cheers.